Hello everyone, welcome back to another Naval Action Basics video. In this video, we're going to be talking about ship upgrades, ship skill books, and how to apply them to your ships and where to find them. So, sorry for the lateness of the day, but here we are in one of my outposts. In my Ligros Venter refit ship, which I just acquired, and I want to outfit it ready for trading. So, first of all, let us open up the ship menu. Now, here you see the ship. There's nothing on it, nothing applied, except for the port bonuses that it has from when it was launched. In the middle section here, you have two lines of 5 squares. The first one being your upgrade slots. Each ship, depending on its quality, will have 1 to 5 upgrade slots. These can be used to put in upgrades, which will increase and enhance the stats and efficiency of your ship. As the info text says, it can only be used for upgrades, and to remove an upgrade you need to destroy it. This means installing one is permanent, so if you only have one and you put it on your ship, it stays on your ship. You cannot take it off your ship again and install it onto another ship. You can left click to select upgrades, or you can do it from your warehouse. More on this later. The 5 slots next to it is knowledge slots. To unlock these, you'll notice that each are marked by a locked symbol. To unlock these, you need to gain XP in this ship. It doesn't have to be the exact same ship, but a ship just like it. So anything from this type of ship will carry over to a similar ship if you lose this one and then rebuild or recapture another one. So any XP gained on this specific ship will work towards unlocking knowledge slots on each and every Ligros Venter refit ship. And you'll see I have 0 out of 500 XP gained on the ship to unlock the first slot. So, as I said, this column is our upgrades. This one is a pretty good ship with 4 out of 5 possibles. And all 5 knowledge slots can be unlocked, but you cannot unlock the 5th upgrade slots. This is permanent. You cannot increase this from more than 4 out of 5. However, all 5 books can be unlocked. Now, where to find and get upgrades? Upgrades can be found as part of loot on ships. It can be bought, which I'll show you in a bit, or it can be traded from other players. I've opened up my warehouse and you'll notice I have a line of upgrades down here and a few books over here. Firstly, let's talk about the upgrades. There are several upgrades of the same type or the same kind, but with different levels. If we look at the gunpowder in the center here, you'll see there's 3 different kinds, one of each for this demonstrational purposes. The first one is an Almeria gunpowder. And as you hover over each icon, it will tell you exactly what it does, and it will give you a slight fluffy text about what it is. So for this upgrade in particular, it gives us an increased cannon penetration of 2.75%, which right off the bat doesn't seem that bad. And there's a fluffy text down below saying Almeria gunpowder, high quality gunpowder from the town in the Gulf region. The text itself isn't really that important. What is the numbers associated with the upgrade. However, if I move on to this one, you'll quickly notice that it has a higher cannon penetration for this one, meaning this upgrade is better. So if you can get a hold of it, install that one on your ship instead of the other one. Last one, which is also a gunpowder, gives us 5% penetration, which is double the amount of the Almeria gunpowder. So it's worth going over each and every upgrade you find in the game and get to know the different upgrades. seeing what kind of upgrades you want and which are better than the others. If I was in a situation where I had to choose, obviously I would keep this one and get rid of the other two, either by trading or by destroying if I was out at sea. You'll notice some other icons over here. This is just a small selection. I'll show you my small stash of upgrades later on. You see we have one here which is copper plating. Copper plating is a good thing to use on ships where you want a bit more speed. People mainly use them for trade ships and such. It gives us an increased max speed of 3.3%, and it gives a slight decrease to our deceleration by 10%, meaning our ship is faster but is slower to come to a full stop. The next two, again, the icons look identical, but they are slightly different. The first one is the crooked hull refit. All armor HP on your ship is reduced by 2%. However, your max speed is increased by 1.75%. And again, there's a slight fluffy text below it. The next one, with the same icon, is a Bridgetown frame refit. This one gives an increase to all armor HP hit points by 7%, but it decreases our maximum speed by 2%. So when we're outfitting our ship with the different upgrades, we need to use the upgrades that will increase the ship's performance in the areas that we need it to. So as we're outfitting a trade ship, I obviously want to go for the crooked hull refit and not the Bridgetown refit, as I need the speed and not the armor HP. I'm not fighting in this ship. Another difference is the next two. You'll notice it's a symbol of a gun with a gunner behind it. The first one is French gunners. It gives us a cannon penetration of 3%, and the cannon traverse down and cannon traverse up is increased by 5%, meaning that we have a broader arc up and down to fire our guns. The next one is the British gunners. This gives us a reduced reload time, meaning that we can fire faster by 5.5%, and it also decreases the number of cannon crew you need to have on your ship, meaning that for undercrewed ships, this will give us a bonus and a bit more available crew for other functions on the ship. So again, same symbol, but two different kind of upgrades. Hover over each upgrade you find to get to know each and every upgrade. There are several in the game. Some are absolutely pointless in my opinion, and some are a must-have on different types of ships, whether it be trading ships, all-rounders, or dedicated combat ships. Some will work better for a line ship, some will work better for a frigate, or some will work better for just a fast, shallow water ship. Last ones I've chosen is some of the rigging modifications you can get. First one's a bone with refit. Gives a bit more yard power, a bit more maximum speed, but it also increases our sailing crew requirements. The other one, which is a pirate rig refit, gives a bit less power to the square sails, but our stay sails get a bit more increase, and the spanker power increases. Now these are all minute things, but you get to know them as you progress through the game. Obviously, if you're relying heavily on square sails, you don't want to use your pirate rig refit on that ship. But different ships, different styles, different upgrades needed. Now, let's get back to the Grossfenster refit over here. I have two options. I can drag and drop an upgrade from my warehouse over to the ship, or I can simply left click on the upgrade slot that I want, and it'll bring up what available upgrades I have. I can select anything here. Now, if you misclick and put in an upgrade you don't want, or you capture a ship with an upgrade you don't want, you cannot simply drag it off. Upgrades on ships are permanent. The only way you can remove an upgrade from a ship by right clicking and pressing destroy which will destroy the item but remove it from your ship. By pressing destroy, are you sure you want to do that? Confirm, this is the wrong choice. The item is now destroyed and you have lost it permanently. Luckily, I have a few spares of those part refits. Now, let's kit out this little gross venture. First up, I want some speed, so I'll put on the copper plating. I'll take the crooked hull for a bit more speed. I'll take the bowman refit, and it still leaves me one more slot if I can find a good upgrade to put on it later on. But those I have now is not important for the little gross venture refit, as I'm gonna use it for a trade ship and not for combat. So there's no point of me wasting an upgrade with increased cannon penetration or better gunnery, etc. on the ship. Another thing to note is that I cannot put two of the same type of upgrade on it. So, as I've already put on the crooked hull refit, I cannot also put on the bridge down refit. You'll see it just registers slowly and puts it back in. And if I go into the menu, you'll see here it's grayed out. I cannot select this upgrade. So only one type of each upgrade is allowed on a ship. And that's basically how to put upgrades on your ship. Now, upgrades, as I said before, can be found as loot in other ships. They can, depending on the port, be bought under the upgrades tab. However, not in this port. You need to go into high traffic ports like La Naval, Santo Domingo, or some of the other bigger ports where people frequently trade, and you can get them there. Kingston, i.e. Port Royal, is another good one. But you can, in the right ports, buy them under the upgrades tab. Note, however, good upgrades cost a lot of money. It's cheap. It's probably not a good upgrade. Another way besides buying them or capturing them as part of the loot ship is going into the Admiralty. The Admiralty has a shop as well. And if you go on the upgrades tab, there's a few you can buy for doubloons. You can hover over each and it'll tell you what it does. You roll down, there's a few more. Each with their different characteristics. You can also do is go under the PvP rewards, and you can buy upgrades or combat medals. What are combat medals? Well, we'll cover that a bit later. But again, different upgrades. Most of these upgrades bought in here are called Navy something something, like Navy Grog node, Navy Gun Tackle node, yada yada yada. Each of these is a Navy variation of the upgrades already out there. They are slightly better, but they're not necessarily the best out there. Top 5 probably. You can also go in here and buy notes for certain ships, and you can build later on. But just know you have the option to go into the upgrades or the PvP rewards and buy upgrades with either doubloons or combat medals. Now, the second thing we talked about was books. But I don't have any book slots unlocked on this one. I'll need to change into another ship just to teach you. You'll see the books I have here in my warehouse. I have 3 different barricades for 1/3. 3 is on stay sails trim and the expert carpentry handbook. As I hover over each, it again gives me a description of what it is. It's a skill book, it's a universal skill book, and it says just a bit about the book, and in the bottom it says bonuses and tells you what it actually gives as a bonus with equipped on the ship. If you already learned the book, it'll say below in green, you already learned this book. So you can know which to keep, which to sell, which to trade away. Oh, looks like the NPCs are going at it again. When you get a book, either by purchasing it through the Admiralty in the regular shop, you can buy it as well under the books tab, if any available. Again, higher traffic ports, or down here buy books in the Admiralty. Here you'll buy them for doubloons. In the regular shop it'll be reals, and there's some that can be traded. When you get hold of a book, it can also be part of loot, and you get it into your inventory. You don't drag and drop books onto your ship as you do with upgrades. What you do is you right click on the book and it'll give you a menu here. You can use it, you can destroy it. Don't do that unless you know what the book does. You can send it to the hold of your ship if it's in a warehouse. You can send to chat. Sending to chat simply means that I'll bring up my clan chat here. I'll right click, send to chat. You'll see it says down here, and everyone can hover over it and it will give a description of the book. As I'm the one that did it, it's not going to show me the description. It's a good way to indicate to your friends and other players in the nation chat what you have for trading or what you're looking for. Anyway, last option, send it to the clan warehouse. This only works if you are in a port where your clan actually has a warehouse. What you want to do with the book as you get it is press use, and this window comes up and you press confirm. However, I will learn that one. So once you've learned the book, it'll be removed from your inventory and you can now use it on any ship where this book is available. For instance, these two are universal. If you look under class, both are universal. It can be used on any ship. However, barricades 1 to 3rd is for line ships only. This book can only be used on ships of rank 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, good and all. But what about the books? You don't have a ship where you can put it on. Well, I have another one in port. So let's look at the Admiral. We've been using that in the other videos, and we'll just quickly check it out. You'll see here that I have unlocked 3 of the 5 knowledge slots on the Admiral Derudo. I'm still 2,500 XP away from unlocking the 4th, but I have 3 books available or equipped, and each of these books give the ship a slight edge. First one is Gunnery Encyclopedia, Art of Ship Handling, and then I have this one as well. Sorry, I'm not gonna try with my French, it sucks. If you have an available knowledge slot, simply left click on it, just like with the upgrade slots, and it will show you all available books you have. Now these are all the books I've learned and that can be put and used on the ship. First one is a boarding section, so each of these books give me an increase to boarding. The next one is survival, meaning that they work towards repairs or better armor or better rig and pump training. These ones are speed and turning, so either I get increased speed, my ship turns faster, my sail crew is more efficiency, my trim is better, etc. Section for gunnery, section for crew, and the last one is collections. Now, gotta touch on collections in a later video when we're going to be covering crafting, both building ships and crafting items. We'll cover collections at that point. I'll touch on them also just at the end of this video, just to let you know which books never to use on yourself, but safe for later on. Now, simply select the book and it will change into that book. Upgrades, you can only use a single upgrade once on one ship. However, this book I can use on any ship I have as many times as I want to, as long as it's available for that class of ship, which this one is. Now, I'll just change this back. Going into the menu, finding the book I want, I can hover over all of them just to see what they do, and select the book you want. For the Admiral, at this current stage, I'm going mostly gunnery and sailing, and these collections are really good to have. So if I want to unlock the 4th slot, simply go out there and earn some XP, probably by fighting. That is books. One thing to notice is that I'm currently in this port, and if I have some books like this one, the Expert Carpentry Handbook, this is a very good book as it's used to make a very valuable upgrade. But to do so, I need to drag this one over to my workshop. To move a book from one port to another, I need to put it onto a ship, into the hold of the ship, and sail it from A to B to move the book. Upgrades can also be moved into the hold. Books and upgrades doesn't really weigh anything, so you have a lot of them even though you're full up on cargo. However, you have another option with upgrades too. In your top right hand corner, you have an upgrades chest. The hotkey is U as indicated. This chest has 12 slots where you can put in upgrades. So if I drag over all of these upgrades, I can now move these upgrades by teleporting to another outpost without having to sail from A to B. I can only do this with upgrades and whatever I have in my money chest, my doubloons and my combat medals. Just note that for a book or a permit to be moved, you need to sail it physically from port A to port B. However, upgrades you can put into your upgrade chest and then teleport from one port to another to mount them on. So let's quickly transport back to one of the ports that I use to store my upgrades in. 5 to 12 doubloons to Port to Barney. See you in a second. Here's, by the way, sip of gin for the voyage. Now, as you'll see, I open up my warehouse here. I have slightly hoarding tendencies when it comes to upgrades. I've been collecting upgrades ever since I got into the game and they were introduced, and this is only about half of them. Now, if I open up my upgrades chest by either clicking on it or pressing U, you'll see we've brought the upgrades with us. So I can now put these back into the hole where they belong. Wrong one. Mirrored gunpowder, extra shot, powder rations, and mirrored gunpowder goes there. Whoops. You see here, I have several others with the same icon that does something differently. And a lot of others. Grenades to improve your grenades and boarding. Fire ships to increase the chance of a ship actually catching fire and exploding. More structure and less speed. More different riggings. Better morale. Better boarders. Better carpenters, again with different levels. The apprentice is the lowest level, the northern master carpenter is the biggest level. And this is the upgrade that the other book, the Expert Carpentry Handbook, can actually be made into. But more on that when you come back to the crafting video. For now, let's just put back these gunners. British gunners goes there, and French gunners go there. And you can see you can stack them fairly high. I have 56 pirate rig refits. As I said, I got more than plenty. Whoopsie. So this is the way you can actually move upgrades from one port to another simply by putting them into your upgrade chest and move them from one port to another. Therefore, I can store some here. I can store some in Asua, which is another port where I also have my upgrades. And I can move them back and forth as I need them. Mainly to Santo Domingo, which is my shipyard port. Now, that's basics of upgrades. You get them either as part of your loot, you get them from the shop if you buy them, or you can get them from the Admiralty. Or the last thing, you can actually craft them yourself. Now, if you skip over to Santo Domingo quickly, which is my main shipyard and crafting pool, I can go in to either my workshop or my academy. We'll get back to these buildings in a later video, how all this crafting and stuff works. But I can go into my workshop, find one of the upgrades I actually want to build, and see what it takes to build it. Now, for the one I mentioned before, some are made, upgrades are made in the workshop, and some are made in the academy. The one I mentioned before was the Northern Master Carpenters. You open it up, you'll see it takes one expert carpentry handbook. It takes 5 Swedish carpenters, and it costs a fair bit of doubloons to simply craft one of these upgrades. That means that some upgrades and some books are better used, or not upgrades, simply books, sorry. But some books are better used as part of an upgrade instead of simply used and installed on your ship as they are. One is the Expert Carpentry Handbook. Don't use it on its own. Save it up later, find someone that can transform it into a master carpenters. Other books to do so is all those used for the encyclopedia, like Gunnery Encyclopedia. These 4 books, you'll find them somewhere being traded between like 300,000 up to $1,000,000 reals, simply because they're rare, the drop chances are reduced, and they are part of this great upgrade or book encyclopedia. The means of directing fire, this one, which is also in French, this one too, and table of parts of ships of war. These 4 books, if you ever come across them, save them up, hit up a clanmate or someone in game that can help you transfer or transform these 4 books into this gunnery encyclopedia for you. Pay them a bit of money to do so, and you'll get much more out of it than simply using these 4 books on their own. So that's the Expert Carpentry Handbook. It's the 4 books for this one. And another one is The Art of Steering by Rudder, which is also a book, and Art of Cargo Distribution. Now, Art of Cargo Distribution is pretty common, but Art of Steering by Rudder is not. You'll see it either being bought or sold for between 1 and 2 millions, depending on how badly people want it. So again, if you come across any of these books, save them for later. The last ones are these 5: the Water Book, the Wind Book, Fire Book, Ground Book, and the Book of the Void. These 5 books combines into the Book of 5 Rings Encyclopedia. This is a boarding boost. There are a few others, but these are the main ones. Last one I'm going to show you is the Old Flag Officer. That one is also, as the Expert Carpentries and the others, a very important book. It is used to make one of the best upgrades when it comes to gunnery. The British Gunnery Sergeant upgrades is, in my opinion, the best gunnery upgrade you can get in the game. So, use this video to just refer back, pause it as you need to. Just take note of these books: the Old Flag Officer, the Expert Carpentry Handbooks, the 4 for the Gunnery Encyclopedia, the 2 for the Art of Ship Handling, and the 5 for the Book of 5 Rings Encyclopedia. These are the main ones. And if in doubt, find a book. I don't have one here, but just drag one out just to show you. If you're ever in doubt, finding a book, right click it, press send to chat, and I'll send to the chat you're in. If you're not in a clan, simply send it to your nation, just like that, and then simply ask, is this worth anything? And your nation, whether it be Danish or whatever, that you'll always find someone more than willing to help you explain what the item does, and if you should keep it, if you should sell it, or what it's best used for. You can do the same with upgrades. Right click it, send to chat. You'll list it up in the chat and you can ask, should I put this on this kind of ship? Or find someone in there that's willing to spend a bit of time just telling you what kind of upgrades to put on whatever ship you're using, depending on what you use it for. So that was just the basics of upgrades and books, how to use them on your ships. Last thing I'll say is that you can tow a ship from one port to another. Like if I take this, the ocean, I have not. Yeah, that's a good example. Sorry. You'll see here I have 5 slots available for books. Actually, I towed this ship from one port to this port, and when I did so, I had all 5 books selected. But if you tow a ship, it will remove the books you have assigned, or if you use it as part of a fleet. So just be knowledgeable. If you used it as part of a fleet or you towed, make sure to check which books you have on it, and if none, reapply the books. So just recap, upgrades are permanent. If you install an upgrade, it can only be removed by destroying it, and you cannot increase the amount of upgrades on a ship. The knowledge slots are unlocked over time by gaining XP on that specific ship, type of ship. As you unlock more, you'll get more efficient. Books can be selected from all the books you've learned. In the beginning, you won't have as many as I do now, but as you progress through the game, you'll get more and more books learned, and then the more options you'll have. Selecting the right upgrades and the right books for the type of job you want your ship will greatly increase your survivability. That is all for now. This was another short naval action basics video, just slightly touching on upgrades and books. And I know I haven't covered each and every upgrade, but the meta of the game and the numbers in game changes ever so slightly from patch to patch. So there's no point of me going through each and every upgrade. You have to get into the game, find them up, find the upgrades, look at them, and over time just learn what the different kind of upgrades does. Any questions? Hit them down below. Use the comment section. Hit me up in game if you can find me. I'll be more than happy to spend a few minutes just simply getting you into a better position. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.